All right, today on The Explainer, we are diving into something that feels straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's not. It's happening right now. We're talking about living robots, built from your own cells.
So let me ask you this. What if you could take a couple of your own cells, right? Put them in a dish and just watch as they build themselves into these tiny, living, moving robots? Sounds crazy, I know. Impossible, maybe? Well, what if I told you it's already being done?
This is where we get to meet Anthrobots. Yeah, that's what scientists are calling them. And the name kind of gives it away, right? Anthro for human. These are biological robots built from human cells. Our cells.
Now, when you hear robot, I want you to just erase that image of metal and wires from your mind. This isn't that. Anthrobots are something else entirely. They are self-assembling biobots. And get this, they're built from adult human cells, specifically the cells from the lining of our windpipes.
Okay, so this brings up a huge question, right? How in the world does a lung cell, a cell whose entire job is to just protect your airways, suddenly go rogue and decide to build a robot? Well, the secret, it lies in unlocking a set of instructions that's been hidden deep inside that cell's DNA all along.
Think about it. Every single cell in your body, whether it's a skin cell or a liver cell, it holds the complete master blueprint for building, well, you. But once we're fully formed, most of that blueprint gets locked away in a vault. The really powerful instructions, the ones for building a body from scratch, those are called embryonic patterning genes. They're the body's original construction plans, and they're usually a one-and-done deal, only used way back in early development.
So how do scientists crack this code? This is the wild part. They don't have to do much. They just take these adult airway cells and put them in a new environment. And that's it. The cells, on their own, start to self-assemble. And in that process, they do something incredible. They unlock those old, dormant genetic programs. It's like they're hitting a reset button, accessing those original construction plans to build something totally new, a biobot.
Okay, so when a cell unlocks this ancient code, what actually happens? We're not just talking about it learning a new trick. No, it gets a completely new identity. It's a fundamental shift in what the cell is and what it does.
To really get this, we have to talk about something called the transcriptome. The easiest way to think about it is like a cell's operating software, right? It's the set of active gene instructions that's running at any given time, telling the cell, okay, you're a skin cell today, or your job is to be a heart cell, or, in this case, you're an anthrobot now.
I mean, just think about that identity shift for a second. An airway cell has one job, a very specific job, protect the lungs. Simple. But after this transformation, its software is completely rewritten. The Anthrobot's new job description? Move, build, repair. That is a massive career change, but on the cellular level. And we're not talking about a small adjustment here. The researchers who discovered this call it a massive remodeling of gene expression. That process creates a totally unique molecular signature, a brand new identity that's completely different from the cell it started as.
Okay, so we know how they're made. That's incredible in itself. But what can they do? What can these little biological robots actually accomplish? Well, it turns out their new job comes with a pretty impressive toolkit.
The list of their abilities is just astounding. They assemble themselves. They move all on their own. If they get damaged, they can repair themselves. They can even reproduce. But that last one on the list, that's where things get really interesting. Neural repair.
And this is maybe the most important part. Their healing power isn't just for themselves. No, in experiments, these anthrobots were able to repair other separate damaged tissues. To be specific, they actually encouraged healing across a wound in a layer of human neurons. The implication of that is just staggering. We're talking about tiny bots built from our own cells that could one day act like microscopic surgeons. So, as you can imagine, a discovery like this just blows the doors wide open on a whole new frontier in science and medicine. But, like with any powerful new tech, it comes with a double-edged sword. There's immense promise, but also some really serious questions we have to start asking.
I mean, the potential is just breathtaking. On one side, you have the promise. We could be looking at a revolution in regenerative medicine, or targeted drug delivery systems that hunt down diseases inside our bodies. Maybe even epigenetic rejuvenation, reversing cellular aging. But on the other side of the ledger, you've got the hurdles, really big ones. Profound ethical questions about creating new motile life forms from human cells. The massive challenge of making sure these things are safe and controllable. And of course, the big unknown, the risk of unintended consequences that we just can't predict yet.
You know, for the first time in history, we basically have a tool that lets us build new, living, moving things directly from our own bodies. And that brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? Now that we have the power to reprogram life itself, the challenge is no longer just about what we can create, it's about what we should create.
Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.